Okay. So I'm going to do audio. This is going to be some evangelism as well. Just help people where they're at. Give them some knowledge and information. The world that we live in. New levels of stupidity. I just booked a really big sports bet that I could barely afford. First one in a long time, but Chris really wanted it, and I'm getting house odds. And I'm probably I'm probably winning money in the long run, but I'm betting $500 to win like $350 or $400, whatever that odds, or $350. But I have a way better team. But I just had this thought: if you're a Mormon, would you do the championship game? And you have to assume that you want to play and you're the best player. So the championship could be NCAA, it could be the Super Bowl. So it's the axiomatic church, LDS, that has a high value sacrament and stuff like that. But I'm asking a lot, but you have 4 choices: yes, no, maybe so, I don't know. So for me, as of today, I'm snap calling on yes or maybe so. And if I had to pick, I would say maybe so. I would probably flip a coin on it. I don't have a sacrament fetish. And I could serve the Lord as I play sports. But if there's a feeling, if the Holy Spirit wants me to go sacrament, or if I just want to miss it to make a point or something like that, I would go without flipping. I would go to the church without flipping. If I feel like going to church, I'd probably go to the church. If I feel like playing sports, I'm probably going to flip a coin. And I might flip 8 coins or roll 3 dice. I might give myself a 99% chance of playing the sport. But if God really wants me to go to church, and also, if I'm speaking at church, if I'm asked to speak and give a talk, and then I say, sorry guys, I got a championship, I didn't think we're going to win. Well, I think I'd rather go to church there. I got to speak. If our team automatically loses the championship because we were down a player and they need me, I would go to the sports one. Now, this audio message is in the past. I'm very immature. Very immature. So 10 years from now, I'm going to be like, wow, I was an idiot. The correct answer on the higher law is to go to church. Sports is supposed to be this. And also, it depends on thinking about this situation ahead of time. If I already decided I was going to go to church every Sunday, let's say the sport is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, every once in a while, Saturday, Sunday, if it's a tournament, I'm going to let my team know that, hey, I'm always going to miss Sundays. Am I good enough to play and then not play? And then it's an easy decision to go to church. But if it's just out of nowhere, oh, the championship game was supposed to be on Saturday and then we moved it to Sunday, well, I'm going to do the championship game and I'm going to shout out to God, and that's probably what I'm going to do. Anyways, I just want to make another presidential vlog. I came up with another policy that I have. Voting. I want the elderly to have an extra vote, and they could split it. They could vote for a libertarian. Oh yeah, Andrew Tang had second choice voting. I thought that was pretty interesting. Choice voting, so you vote your conscience, and then if he doesn't win, or if he's clearly not going to win, your second vote counts, or something weird. It was a decent idea for sure, but my idea is better. If you're in the military, you get 10 times voting power, and the president is voted instead of the electoral college. And instead of the population vote, it'll be on voting points. And there's a 5-question quiz, and if you get one wrong, you get 1 vote. If you get all 5 right, you get 2 votes, 2 voting points. And if you're elderly, you get 3, or you get an extra 1. So it could be 1. I'm sorry, it could be 2 or it could be 3 if you get all 5 questions right. But if you're stupid, you get taxed. Your vote itself gets taxed. But you never know if you got it right or wrong. The system does it through the blockchain. And then if you've ever been in the military, you get 10 voting points because you probably know insider information, commander-in-chief stuff, and we want you coming out to vote. And the elderly are wiser and probably a little bit less selfish, and they're not going to regret their vote. What's the point letting people vote and then regret it and have their vote worth the same as everybody else? So we're going to vote instead of electoral college, instead of population vote, because population vote, the smart people and the idiots, they all get 1. I want to tax the idiots down to 1, and the smart people or the regular can get 2. So the smarter people will be overpowering with double the voting power. Because if you don't know how many branches of government there are, you shouldn't even be voting. But I'm going to let you vote anyway, just because I want you to think you're making a difference. And, you know, you see something in Kamala Harris that no one else sees. But you're just stupid. But I just want to let you know you did vote, and you're going to think you had 2 votes because you think you got them all right. Sometimes people know that, okay, I got them wrong. I was only 1 vote. Well, maybe you're going to study next time. If you really like the candidate, maybe you should study basic stuff. And people are going to cheat on the test, and there's going to be some fraud there. But it's a joke. It's supposed to be kind of a joke, and politics is a joke. But the military guys are not a joke. Those guys are serious. I want them to have 10, possibly about. If you're a super veteran, I could give you 100 votes. And those guys are going to cancel out each other too. Because some of them are going to be Democrats, some of them are going to be Republican. But Ron Paul, he got all the votes. But Ron Paul, I want to talk about him for a second. His foreign policy, his foreign aid was an abomination. Foreign aid is taking money from poor people in this country and giving it to rich people in poor countries. And everyone's like, yeah. And it sounds like it makes so much sense, and it deceived me before. But if you have a nice little country in Africa and you got a nice leader, but there's a blanket policy in America, we're not giving foreign aid. If you send them US dollars, our prices aren't going to go up for 5, 10, 15, 20 years when those dollars make their way back to America. You know, or if they ask Amazon to ship some stuff over, some toilet paper, who cares? Send them the money. Don't eliminate all foreign aid. I want to do $7 a month for every man, woman, and child in Africa from America. We get 77, they get 7. Don't you love Americans 11 times more than them? And we need the money because we're so that's funny that we think we need 77 more than they need. We would rather have 84 and then 0. People are going to say that. Screw those guys. I don't know them. They're not born here. They're black. Whatever their stupid excuses. We could send them $7, or they could take the $92 a year stimulus. But for every person, they're going to be so rich. They're going to be so happy. We're going to send them so much money. And I'm going to increase food stamps. I'm going to increase welfare. And it's going to cost a lot. I'm not going to change the world, but I'm going to change it a little bit. And I'm going to try to please everyone. You get one abortion where you just get a cash fine. And it's going to be a small cash fine, slap on the wrist. And don't do it again. Because it's my worldview. And I want you to feel bad. You're bad and you should feel bad. And you're going to get, now you have $11. Maybe I should do that. Start everyone with UBI orange. That's what I want to do. Start everyone with an orange UBI, and then when you break the law, you still get UBI, but now it's $66.66 a month. You're the mark of the beast. You're the problem with this world. And when a cop pulls you over, can I see your UBI card? And it's orange. This guy hasn't broke the law in 2 years. I'm going to let him go. If you break any law, you lose $11 a month. That's what I want to do from now on. Here, pull over and do that. Start everyone orange UBI. You go from righteous, and then you downgrade to authentic. So you're either righteous or you're authentic. I don't want to say you're a bad person for breaking the law. I'm going to say you're an authentic person. So you're a threat, but you're a good threat. Because I don't want you guys to keep laws that you don't like, because it's your worldview and your truth. And I'm going to lead the way by taking a piss in the middle of the street every once in a while, because I don't think I'm hurting anyone, and that's a dumb law. So where are we? It's down here. So I used to have you, my policy before was you get to pick if you want to be righteous or authentic. I don't want people to lie anymore. So, and we don't. So it's $77.70 a month now. Instead it's just $777, and then it's $666 a month if you have broken any major law, or any law really. So you start righteous orange, organize orange, and you end authentic abortion, which rhymes with orange, ironically. Sweet versus salty. And now, and also, you're after you break one of the laws, any law you break after that, well, no, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just think you're authentic. Now you're one of the cool kids. So your UBI gets downgraded. This is amazing. This is way better. So everyone's going to want to keep the orange one. But once you once you break the law, now you're just like, ooh. Because now you only lose it once. Once you lose it, you don't lose it again. You have to repent to get the orange back. So you can pay the fine, and then you say, I want to be righteous again. And then you can make a YouTube video, I want the orange card back because all the cool kids are orange. Okay. So there's actually a hidden fee of an extra $100 a year to break any law. So if you're a super prude and you follow all the laws, hey, you get $77.70 a month, or $77.77 a month. Once you break any law, now you're a 666. And if you don't like that, then you can repent and get the 777 card back and go back orange, and there's going to be a repentance process. Or you can be a bad boy, because I don't want you to think you're a bad person just because you have a black and white card. I want to say you're a savage. You're a great American. The founding fathers of this country would love you. As long as you're unrepentant and I didn't like that law, okay. Hello. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Can I get for you today, boss?
I just bought a bunch of cereal, so I came here to get mostly milk, which is pretty funny.
All right, no worries.
I want
How many?
a 3x3 spread only.
Okay.
Let's get a extra large 7-Up.
Okay.
Let's get a French fries,
Okay.
undercooked,
All right.
and let's go with 7 milks.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I got you. We're gonna eat this all in the car, or is it to go?
Yeah, Gabriel, are you a Christian by any chance?
Yeah, I'm Catholic, brother.
Okay, cool. When was the last time you prayed?
It's been a while.
Oh, you got to pray more, man. You got to get back on that. That's more important than Bible study, more important than church attendance. You got to pray, okay?
I understand, bro.
Promise me you pray every night for the next 3 months. Promise?
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 I don't know if I can keep that consistently.
You don't want to pray every night?
I do. I'm just.
Just give God your garbage time for 30 seconds every night for 3 months. Can you do that? How about 1 month?
I'll do my best.
Okay, that's fair. And Ecclesiastes 5:5 says it's better to not make a vow than to make a vow and not keep it. It's good for you. Good stay. If anyone tries to get you to make a vow, unless you're in court, or something, no, don't let some customer in and out tell you to make a vow.
Right,
so good job there. Okay, you're a good dude.
Do you want to take this to go?
Yes, please.
I got you. It'll be $24.97 at that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a cool guy. See, I tried to get him to make a righteous vow, and he says, "Yeah, no," and then he clenched his teeth. That's an alpha male. He's like, "Yeah, I'm working it in and out. I'm trying to get money so I can get my life together." But I'm not going to make a religious vow and the burden of 3 months is pretty ridiculous, but I don't mind putting a burden, and I'm free rolling. If he says yes, boom, God's got him in the bag. But that's not it. I need to go to prayer first, because I used to go Bible verse and then I expose how stupid people are because they don't. But instead, let's just take it for granted that people are stupid. When was the last time you prayed? If you said, dude, all the time. Well, now you say, okay, favorite Bible verse. And then they're going to have one probably. But if they don't, it's like, okay, the prayer is the most important. And then they're on cloud nine. Is that a duck? Is that somebody's dog? Whoa. A wild dog. He has a collar, but there's no owner walking him. That's really rare for Livermore. You're kidding. Oh, maybe there is an owner. He has to have an owner if he has a collar, right? You know, animals are they're a different species, but they're in a similar spot to us. They can't have any pride. They look around, they feel small in this world and in the vastness of the universe. The reason why pride is such a sin in this life is because it's inherently dishonest. It's wicked. It's like, God's like, how much bigger could I have made the universe to where all of you would be humble? How much bigger does the earth need to be? How much, Joe Rogan, back when he was an atheist, he's like, listen, something weird is going on. We're spinning around a giant bursting flame of a fireball, and then he starts talking about outer space. Well, okay, that's legit. You're at least you're halfway there. Romans 1:20 says you look at creation and you get crushed by how obvious it is that there's a God, and you should be afraid of God, right? So pride is where you boast in yourself as if there's something boast-worthy there. And God and I see sports differently. When I boast in myself in sports, I'm not saying, oh, I don't fear God anymore and I'm self-sufficient and I'm all satanic. No. It's more like, I can't believe I beat these image bearers of God who are so talented. And I'm going to boast in myself to induce fun. And God doesn't see Muhammad Ali boasting in himself the way I do. So I'm trying to say, listen, Lord, we see things a little bit differently. And God could see it from my perspective, but his ways and his thoughts are higher than my ways and my thoughts. If you look at an intense movie like Alice in Wonderland, you know how it's like purple, and that movie is so intense and there's so much going on, and you can watch it 100 times and still miss things. It's just so beautiful, and the animation's incredible. I just want to go back to Gabriel. But anyways, God is running trillions of deeper versions of that in his urine. And he's going to go over here and try to get playful pride advice from one of his creatures. No, I'm not even going to. Just shut up and believe me. Jacob 4:10 in the Book of Mormon, it says, don't counsel the Lord. Cringe. It's cringe if you do. And my thing is, Lord, you don't, it sounds like you don't get my sense of humor either. I'm kidding when I counsel you. And now God's like, well, this is some sarcasm I've never heard in my life. It's like autistic sarcasm. Because my version of sarcasm is like, hey, I don't change my voice. I just say something ridiculous that makes absolutely no sense. Hey, I folded pocket aces pre-flop. And to me, that's sarcastic because it's a joke. And it's like, I mean something the exact opposite. This kid yesterday was trying to say 6-7. Like, he tried to win the argument with that. And I said, oh, Galatians 6-7? He says, yeah. And then I took back over the conversation. As if, like, that's what he meant. It was pretty funny. But he's 13. 13-year-olds are perfect because they think they know everything, because they know something that their dad doesn't know, and their dad knows everything. So that means they must know everything because they know something their dad doesn't know. That's what the 13-year-old level is. Idiots. All of them are idiots. The only people I really, 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 really respect and it takes, some of them, it's almost it's an impossible task to lose my respect. 73 years old, 74, 75. There's a reason why I want to marry them. I'm not just a sapiosexual, I'm a Sophia-sexual. Sophia-sexual is when you're attracted to wisdom. Sapiosexual is when you're attracted to smarts. Now, if there's a woman who's really good at chores and she's young and she's hot and she's a return missionary and she is a sapiosexual herself and she really wants, and she has a learning fetish, well, okay, I'm going to take her, and she wants to make babies. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll take her over the 73-year-old. Now, what if the 73-year-old is really good? She has grandkids. She loves my sense of humor, and she has a lot. She's just advanced, and she can throw it, and she could tell me things that I would never know about. So, and she loves learning. I mean, just because you're old doesn't mean you don't. I'm still going to know a ton of things that the 7-year-old. How do you know that? It's like you would know it if you read the Bible cover to cover. You know it, but you only knew it for a few seconds, and then you discarded it. You didn't see it as a gold medal. You saw it as a bronze medal. Every verse in the Bible is a bronze medal, silver medal, or a gold medal. You just get to pick which is which I think is very interesting. And if everyone agrees John 3:16 is gold, I'm telling you, it's gold. And it will be. It's kind of like platinum. It's more rare. It's harder to harvest. It's used for things. It's like, it's more expensive than gold, but by such a small margin. And it should be a big margin. But the gold is better for jewelry. It has the reputation. It's more precious in a lot of ways. But platinum, it's like, okay, it's a little bit more expensive, but it should be like 10 times more expensive. It just doesn't have the glorious, everyone thinks it's fake. You start wearing it. Oh, he has something fake. Everyone can recognize gold. And gold is backed in the Bible. The Bible says gold, gold. Gold is the new gold. The gold is gold. The gold salesman, Peter Schiff, he's a gold salesman. The one time he quoted the Bible, it's the book of Proverbs, hyping up gold. No verses hyping up platinum. Well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You're an idiot. You don't think that matters in the economy? You don't think you could potentially sell me gold overpriced because there's a Bible verse? Of course you could. I'm a Christian. Any Christian, oh my gosh. Do you think that Bible verse just doesn't work anymore? Silver as well. Silver's all over the Bible too. Silver and gold. There's no platinum being pumped. I mean, precious metals. Do you think there's maybe one verse with platinum? No, there isn't. There's not a single verse hyping up platinum. Platinum is just something that where it's just like, well, this is annoying. We need platinum. Let's go get it. Oh, we don't have any. Well, how much is it going to cost? It's going to cost more than gold. Well, that sucks. It's like gold, when gold goes up in price, everyone's happy about it. That's what's funny about that. When platinum goes up in price, everyone is like groaning. Well, this sucks. Now we got to go get more platinum. But I'm a cycles guy. If I had $100 million, I wouldn't just buy stuff high in the hope that it gets higher. I'd be like Warren Buffett. I would love financial collapses. I'd stock up on toilet paper and cigarettes and gold and silver and platinum. And then when everyone's crazy and Bitcoin's at 130,000 a coin, okay, I'm selling now. You guys want it for this? I look at the gold and silver ratio. If you can buy 100 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold, it's time to sell all of your gold. And you don't need to buy silver, but you probably should. Silver's probably undervalued too. But you need to dump all your gold, and that's how that works. Or you need to buy silver like it's something crazy is happening. Silver might be so undervalued. Like now, gold and silver is gone because the wars. It's like, yeah, you can make money on gold and silver right now, but you can lose a lot. And you know who's making the most money? People who mine it. There are people who just took off the last 10 years from mining. Oh, time to go mining. I'm finally getting paid what I deserve to get paid. The supply is going to increase a little bit, and the price is going to go down a little bit. There's no point in buying gold and silver right now. If you want to protect your purchasing power, buy cartons of cigarettes and air seal it so it doesn't expire, and put it, under the house, and don't get a smoking addiction. Or you can, and then always have one carton that you open up, and you can sell individual packs to people. You can sell individual cigarettes to people. It's a really good thing to sell. It's a better barter bag than buying little half ounces of silver quarters, constitutional metal.
Hi, how are you?
Brandon, you're one of my favorites.
Amazing.
I just can't help it. How about 100? Can I do 100?
Spread only, a Friday Light, XL7 and 7
Do you trust these blue ones, or do you want something smaller?
Do you have anything smaller?
Oh yeah, sure. How much is it? $24, right?
Yep, it was $24.97, please.
Okay, let's do this. It always helps when you're good at poker. They actually pay you to play that game, but you have to be really smart. I was the 16th smartest at Granada for math, and psychology is a thing, and I studied poker, so they pay me to play.
Nice.
They give me all their chips.
Card count.
It's a joke. No. Well, you really are something, Brandon. Do you remember that meme? Let's go, Brandon. Do you remember that meme? Let's go, Brandon. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember
I hated it.
You hated it?
I hated it.
I'm so sorry, Brandon. Are you more like Democrat? I'm gonna run for Democrat office. In 2032. I'm smart, and you know I'm smart, but I'm way smarter than you think. I'm like next level. Number 1 in the world for Tetris. Number 1 in the world for Guitar Hero, for certain songs, not the hard ones, but the easy ones. And what was it? 350 Bible verses memorized. Only an autistic kid could do that. I'm quasi-autistic. Quasi meaning seemingly.
Yep.
And what was the other thing? Oh, I'm a pro bowler.
Nice.
So you'd be high on drugs not to vote for me. Have a nice day.
All right, thank you as well.
Okay, I'm going to give you a D- for that. Possibly an F. It's fun in the moment, isn't it? You're an idiot. Let's go to In-N-Out to evangelize to 3 people. And whatever that was, that's an F. Huh, you're an idiot. Brandon. Well, at least you're bridge building. D-. If you were at a different In-N-Out, that's an F. But he's kind of quasi-reprobated anyway. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Eddie?
Pretty good.
Did you like that show, Ed and Eddie?
I actually did.
I hated it.
Oh.
I thought it was silly and foolish.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
That's okay.
Can I catch up for you, sir?
Yeah, can I catch up on my relationship with you?
I'm sorry.
No? Are you a Christian?
Have a nice night, sir.
I'm an idiot. I hated it. I hated that show. Are you a Christian? Have a nice day, sir. Yeah, I did actually. I hated it. It was foolish. Well, what a weird... It's like I want to give you an A and a D at the same time. Let's meet in the middle. B+. Taxing Foolishness. What a stupid show. Ed, and Eddie. He likes it because his name is Eddie. Huh. He's watching it. Oh, I really like this Eddie character. There's nothing Eddie-fying in that show. Yeah, I get it. You're a little kid. Watch Jimmy Neutron. There's a good show. Hyper over-the-top brilliance. How about that? That's what Paige Zollinger used to like. Jimmy Neutron. In 5th grade, she was like, finally a show that's too smart for me. That's what I'm talking about. That's a hot girl right there. But she got married, so I want to marry her on the back end of it. She's engaged right now. So gotta pray for her for that engagement to close. And then she gets married. Guy's better than me for sure. Yeah, 7-Up is nasty. What a dumb purchase. I've just been should have got Dr. Pepper. This is really nasty. Oh, I want to document this again. Shooting star today. Smell your food before you eat it when you're president, because someone's going to poison it really good, and the food poison might be pretty advanced by the time I'm president, and I might just die of food poisoning. So I gotta buy 6 burgers and discard the first 3 constantly. You know, I want to get packaged food like granola bars and stuff that you can tell. It's kind of like Christmas, Halloween. They used to put needles in the candy. So some Satanist stuff. But don't, just feast on a fresh burger that someone says, "Here, President," and then it's a fresh burger. No. Come on, you guys. Take this stuff seriously. So I got an A- or an A, an F, and a B+. Ed, and Eddie. Quality over intimacy on that one. I don't care what your name is. That show is horrible. Yeah, you like that show? Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You know what show I really like? Johnny Bravo. What a stupid show. But Paul Washer hated SpongeBob SquarePants, and I understand. But what you gotta realize, there's a reason why Jill Harwood likes SpongeBob SquarePants. The spirit is good. Yes, it's a little bit foolish, but it's righteous silliness and it's righteous foolishness. You can't say that the same way with Ed, and Eddie. In my opinion. Now, maybe if I go back, there's some esoteric whatever. I highly doubt that. Powerpuff Girls. Fantastic show. It's not like an A, but it's like a B. That's a good show. Kim Possible, fantastic. What was that black show where they're all black? Proud Family, great show. There's some good ones. Disney Channel originals, amazing, A+. Disney Channel original movies, A+. Man, this burger's good, man. I like In-N-Out Burger, man. It's a good burger. 3x3 is way better than 4x4. It's just 4x4 is a better deal, and if you're hungry, it's about the same. But if I was super hungry and money wasn't a thing, I'd get 3x3s. If you're full, a 3x3 is perfect. Yummy. The purpose of this life is not to go to school, get a job, make babies, invest in the stock market, and die while helping a few people and throwing out some prayers. That's not the purpose of life for most people. That's what the church has us believe. Get a big calling and do it. For me, as president, it's not even that big. It is, but I'm overqualified for this shit. People are terrified. Everyone's good at something. I just happen to be good at everything. Paige Zollinger said so too. Is there anything you're not good at? Yeah, marrying you. I thought that at the time in 5th grade. I didn't know she was saying K-N-O-T. That's, we're not getting married. Yeah. I had a dream. We're not getting married. Oh my God, that's so good. The last bite, so freaking good. When you're spirit filled, food tastes good. Every Mormon knows that. That's why home cooked meals taste so good. It's because they're spirit filled. It's not the food, it's the spirit that makes it taste good. But in and out with the spirit is delish. Yummy. Oh my gosh. Oh. Ooh. Yum, dude. I got a $500 sports bet. My first one in a few years. It's against my roommate. He owns a lot of Bitcoin in my name. And he wanted me to send it to him. And I'm just so lazy. And I just don't want to do it. He's like, I want to make this big bet against Houston. And Houston, we have a problem. I said, how about this? I'll take it. Give me house odds. He says, okay. Easy EV for me. There's no way he's a favorite there. Like, there's no way if he is making money, he's making like $2. That's how sports betting works most bets. You're either losing $100 or you're making 40. And no one knows what's what. So you end up losing $60 constantly. But I won money because I was an AP. And video games are so freaking easy. Video games are so easy. Pro video game betting? My gosh. Yum. I didn't come to this world to be average. Everyone hates me because they're either wholly envious and they have righteous hatred for that or whatever. They're jealous. Or they have envy. They don't understand. That's another one. Or it's like Charlie Kirk. He would have been great if he was a Democrat with that voice. He would have been terrifying as a Democrat. If he was saying, if you're raped, my baby, my choice, and oh my gosh, my baby, my execution. And he has the Charlie Kirk voice and he's pro-choice. Pro-choice Charlie Kirk voice? My gosh. That's what I'm going to be. You know what? That's what I should do. I should be pro-choice for like 6 months. But I'll tell people I believe strongly in changing people's minds, even my own. And I'll say, you know what? I think I should be pro-life now. But that's okay. You guys can still be pro-choice. I just want to make it illegal. And everyone's like, what? I was like, yeah, I thought about it more. And you guys should change with me. Because there's other people who are Christian, and that would be hilarious. There's a lot of ways I can go about this. I should be pro-choice until I get elected. And then I'm full-blown pro. Like, why can't I change my mind? That's hella funny. I'm not... I just gotta convince myself. I gotta, do some drugs to believe. I'm not lying. I'm being sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm telling you a joke. For the record, no man in the history of the species has thought about a conversation that he's had earlier in the week. Wow, so you just lied when you said that no man has thought about, it's called a joke. There's a guy somewhere who's recollected on a conversation that he's had earlier in the week. Some lightheartedness and a little levity. Some lightheartedness, a little levity. I love Charlie Kirk. The only thing I hated was waffles or pancakes over waffles. It was an abominable take. I posted multiple times on Facebook. Then I did my research. 60% prefer pancakes. Then I ordered pancakes because I felt like them. And then I said, no, wait, waffles. I don't want to be a hypocrite. Got the waffles, trash. Everything he said about them. The reason why waffles taste good in the past, I wasn't thinking about the food. I was thinking about who I was with. The syrup, the butter, it's still delicious. No one's comparing their waffle to pancakes as they eat it. But I was this time. I said, whoa, dude. If I had a fluffy pancake, if I had a fluffy, professionally made pancake, it would be better. It would be better. And I posted on Facebook, I repent. Sometimes you got to try it to buy. I mean, the Lord said, the Lord told me, the Lord showed me, like, hey, I'm dragging, hey, let's see, well, we'll see this. God's 99+% sure it's my choice. Pancakes. Cakes over waffles. Done and done, bro. Done and done. I'm never getting a waffle again unless it's like, $2 cheaper and I want to try it again and it's 10 years from now or something. I had pancakes over, I took pancakes over bacon and eggs simply because I wasn't that hungry. And it was delicious in that context. Filled it up with, and I just picked it up with my hands and stuffed it in my face. It was good in that way too. Charlie Kirk was right about that. Okay, so what's my biggest disagreement with Charlie Kirk then, if it's not pancakes, waffles? Well, his take on objective truth, he seemed to suggest that objective truth was unchangeable, and that's not true. He was undervaluing other people's subjective truth. And he acted like his subjective truth was objective because it was right. And that's not how that works at all. And 3 weeks later, he was shot in the neck. But he was killed for a lot of reasons. Preaching Jesus, politics was, perfect, annoying. But I think the main reason is because it wasn't what he believed, it was how he believed it. And he won all those debates. We sent him our smartest Democrats, and he crushed them. Nobody could beat him in a debate. Michael Jordan versus LeBron. He defended Michael Jordan perfectly. He didn't lose any debate. Except to that freaking weird LGBT twister guy who studied an angle, and it was only a 5-minute debate. That was rigged almost. What's your definition? He's like, well, yeah, what is a woman? And then he had like a sister twister definition. Oh, and I'm, who wants to be recognized as a female with female something, and he used the word female, and he was like, and then Charlie Kirk's like, great. And I was like, dude, we're gonna lose this one. And then he was just a very straight, I forget his name, praise God, I forget that stupid kid's name. What was his name again? I don't know, but he kept wanting to like beat him again. And if I was Charlie Kirk, I would have debated him again. But the kid had debate skills. He was just wrong about his point. Those are the most annoying ones. Like, Charlie Kirk could win on both sides of any debate against certain people. But there's certain people that can beat me on either side of either debate. As long as we're not talking about religion, obviously. No one's beating me in a religious debate. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, God would. You know what I mean? Humans, like, especially someone younger than me, it doesn't even make sense. But even somebody older than me, it's like, oh, you're smarter than me. It's kind of like when Trump doesn't lose debates either. But Trump wouldn't beat me in religion because he doesn't know, and literally he knows nothing. But like, he was debating Rand Paul, and Rand Paul is like 100 times more knowledge. Well, who gives a crap? I'm going to make fun of his face. Look, it's about who the judges are. If I was judging that debate, I would say, oh, Donald Trump lost because he made fun of Rand Paul's face. That's not what happened. Rand Paul rolled his eyes. Donald Trump destroyed him. Because it's not a bunch of Eric Smythes judging it. It's a bunch of normal people. Does that make sense? So when he says, I didn't make fun of your face, there's a lot of, stuff there. That's how I got to debate when I'm up there. And I got to preach and teach and love and attack and say provocative things, perverted things, freedom of speech, push it to the edge. God told me 5 out of 6. Don't say the most wicked thing that you can imagine, but get close to it and make it legal, and get everyone pissed off, get them scared, whatever we need to do to get my name out there, and when I'm up there. There was this car right here. I'm just gonna say it because it's really far down. It's really deep into this video, and people that watch this much love me to death. But I'm just gonna say this because it's just one of the most annoying things is me looking back at my video 20 years from now and I'm censoring the best part of the video. Come on. Still a good video. It's just, come on. Say it. Say it. My dad saw me laugh at my own joke one time and he said, say it. And I said, well, if it was so good and compatible, I would have said it. You don't need to ask me. I'll tell you jokes, but it was good. And it was good anyway. I said it, and he says, there you go. That's why I wanted you to say it. It's like, yeah, we got lucky that time. Sometimes it's funny to me. Sometimes it's so unfunny that it's funny. And then someone said, whatever you just thought, tell me. No, it's not going to land. It's kind of like I was at my mom's house, and she wanted me to fold the laundry. And she says, fold the laundry. And then I said, Mom, I've been folding all day. And she goes, now that's funny. Because I was playing online poker the whole day and you fold your hand. And she goes, now that's funny. I mean, it's like, I can't even, like, only Eric Smythe and Norm Macdonald would say something like that in that tone. Like, and so I texted it to Philip. And he was busted up, like, literally laughing out loud. And then someone says, please tell me the joke. And he goes, oh my gosh, I can't. You would have to be a poker player. You'd have to kind of know Eric. Nah. And they're like, okay, I believe you. Like, you just know. So you know how in poker, how you fold? Nah. You can't. There's no, and God has so many overhead jokes like that in heaven. The infinite depth. The memes that we use where we take things out of context, that's a big part of God's sense of humor, and that's why he uses parables, and he'll say a parable to a group of people, and it's supposed to be forked off 24 ways to 24 different people. But some parables are so obvious, and then when he explains them, he says, okay, now you only get 1 or 2 interpretations now that I've explained it. But if he doesn't explain it, it's interesting too. So I'm over here, and this guy comes up, and I said, these 3 hooligans, they look like they're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And they're in a car. Probably high school, actually, so probably 15, 16, 17. And I said, hey, it's the 9th safest city in the U.S. And he goes, yeah. I was like, what are you guys doing? He says, I'm about to go have sex with my sister. And he said it like super serious. And I said, okay. Like he's like, yeah, in that house, yeah. Okay. I said, what do you mean by sex? Because that doesn't make any sense, have sex with your sister. And he said it so serious, but he was kind of using my axiomatic sarcasm style. And then he says, it's my stepsister. Like, that makes it way better. And it does, because now it's not incest. It's incest 2. Incest 1 is direct incest. Incest 2 is step incest. More of a pornographic incest situation. So then I said, okay, well, are you married to her? Because I know you can get married to your stepsister, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's just your first cousin. But... And then immediately he reveals the cheese. And he says, I was joking. I was like, are you married? He says, I was joking. And now he's shocked. Because I, like, to clarify, and then, but it kept getting better. I mean, it went from sister to stepsister to joke. And then I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I felt hypocritical to get annoyed, because, like, that's what I've been doing on Facebook the last 3 years. And I said, okay, how about this? I'm just going to say, good job. What you did right there was fantastic. Don't let anyone tell you jokes are bad and all that stuff, right? I think jokes can save the world. We would have less wars if everyone was, hungry for comedy. I think taking a piss, taking a dump, breathing oxygen, these are needs. But then you have, like, sex is a need, but it's not a need, it's a want. But right next to that, comedy. People should want to laugh more. Some people don't want to laugh. They want to take this life so seriously. And there are some people in some places it needs to be serious, but I just said, I'm a comedian myself. I make jokes like that all the time, and good job. And he goes, what's your best joke? And there's 2 other kids in his car, and that's something I need to think about more. Knock, knock, who's there? An interrupting cow. An interrupting cow. Moo! I got some laughs on that one. Natasha and Adelpha fighting over me, unironically, calling each other names. And I jump in the middle of them, and I hate them both for different reasons. They're both atheists, that's the reason. I jump in the middle of them. Ladies. How's that for my best joke? Like, you guys are so stupid. You think Adelpha's right that I don't like Natasha, but she doesn't realize how much I don't like her. Like, you're dead to me from the beginning. You've been a bro from the beginning. I'm not gonna court you. I'm not gonna get engaged to you. I'm not gonna have babies with you. I want a religious wife with religious babies, with religious jobs, raised in a religious city, or stay single. I would rather have that than be with you. I want to evangelize. At this point, I just want to be president, and it's over now. But back then, that's not a joke. That it takes a while to tell that joke. But instead I said, how about this? Give me any topic, and I'll tell you the best joke of that topic. And if I don't have one, I'll just make up a joke on the spot. He says, okay. And he says, gay joke. I said, okay. And I was wearing my Jesus sweatshirt. I said, Jesus Christ is my husband. He's the guy I would pick. Sometimes he gets on his knees and he sucks my Melchizedek. Priesthood, and then I explained the joke, and the guy was like stunned, and I was like, because I'm Mormon and there's the Melchizedek priesthood. I don't have it yet, but like, I want to get it. And then suck meaning love, and then Melchizedek is the Melchizedek priesthood, which I hold, and then he shows me love there. And the guy in the back seat was like busting up laughing. And the passenger was like stunned, and his face was like, no way. No way did that just happen. Because it's a gay joke, it's quick and witty, it's a pun, and it's the last thing you would have expected me to say. And it's so sacred, I can't even believe I said it on video here. And I walk away, and God the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit are just as stunned as that kid. And they just feel nothing but strips of blackness. But not like black like I hate you. Like black like I can't believe you did that. And it was like an Ephesians 4:29 violation. and Ephesians 5:4 violation, but also Ecclesiastes 3, time and a place for everything. That guy, I wanted to preach, I wanted to show my doctrine. It's okay to have a wicked joke like you just did. The biggest joke of my life was how I fingered Nicole on a couch. And that was a joke. Sarcastic at first. And it was actually somebody else's joke. They're like, oh, you had sex with your sister. And then I said, I knew they wouldn't believe it no matter what I said. So then and fingering is not the same as sex. It's like bad foreplay. It's like you touch their genital. It's the guy touches the genitals. There's over the pants finger where you put it over the pants. But then if you go in the pants, then you're actually touching their genitals. And then if they're liking it, then it would be wet in there. Right? 666. Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right. 666. So, it's not as bad as oral sex, I would say. It's definitely cleaner. There's no way to get an STD probably. But it can lead to other things, and it's kind of whatever. But it was so believable to them, and that's what I was hoping with the joke, because it was makes it way more funny. If I just said yes, then it's just regular dry sarcasm, and it's just, he didn't do that. But, I mean, I'm so young. I'm 16, and she's 16. I didn't even know she was a slut. Turns out she's a slut, and she sucked Mark Alvin's dick at the football game. And she was drunk, and he said about to suck my dick, and she did that. And then there was a rumor that she sucked Mark Alvin's dick, and I said, no, she didn't do that. That's stupid. You guys are dumb. And then she says, no, it's true. Because everyone came up to her, she's like, yeah, I sucked his dick. And I was like, what? And it turns out she has a sex life. I didn't know people did that. Everyone's having sex is 50% of the school. What? You guys are so weird, dude. But anyways, the word got around, Eric Smythe, because they're so close relation, it was 100 times worse, and I'm this religious guy. But I kept the joke going on way too long. It was 15 minutes, and then I said, okay, I didn't do it, but I was so pissed because I was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. So the sarcasm didn't land the same way. But what was funny is everyone believed it except for 2 or 3 people. And then he's this guy's well, what I really want to know is if it's actually true. Now it's not even let's get rid of the joke thing. Did that happen? Because it's that's happened throughout the U.S. And it's I don't really know Eric that well. And everyone's reading into my face. But my face is there because I'm 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. It's not like I had a single and a double and a walk. Then I would be in a different mood. If we were winning, we were losing 6-0 or 8-0. And I couldn't even foul tip it. But we're still talking about raunchy jokes as 16-year-olds. It's about as... I mean, it's you might as well be in a bar with, There's a time and a place for those nasty jokes. Definitely the time, definitely the place. The problem was, leave the fire in the fireplace. Because somebody started a rumor that I actually fingered my sister. And to be fair to him, he probably believed it. It's not like he just made that up based on the joke. He believed it, which made it more fiery. And instead of me, I wasn't as funny back then. I should have just kept the joke going. The problem was Nicole was crushed. She didn't think it was funny at all, and everyone was making fun of her. They knew it wasn't true, probably, but they still made fun of her, and she's crying and stuff. And to make matters more weird, I did have feelings for Nicole, not Shannon, but I did have feelings for Nicole before my parents hooked up and got married. remarried. I wanted to marry her when I was 10. Nicole was just such a cool person. Shannon's like no depth. But Nicole was like super sarcastic, and she was like super awesome. I touched her hand, her arm a little bit. She's definitely not related to me, put it like that. And she was just so beautiful and just like an awesome person. And I did not like her mom, but when my dad didn't really like her mom either. But he's like, I'm going to marry her because it just makes too much sense. It's better than nothing. And my dad bought a ring. He's like, and the dates were just great. And the dates were just good. And she's like perfect on paper. And I'm like, let's marry her. And my dad's like, yeah, I don't really want to marry her. Tell you what, I'll ask my kids. And Justin probably liked Nicole and Shannon as friends. But I like Nicole slightly more than just friends. Shannon, no. Shannon's just dumb. I'm not saying she's ugly, but she's just stupid. And if Nicole didn't exist, then you just have Shannon and nah. I don't like Shannon, but I do like Nicole. So what was funny is I actually do like my stepsister, but the moment they got married, it's like, oh crap, now you're my sister. And now it feels like my sister too. And Shannon became even more sister. She was already kind of weird, but now she's my sister, and now it's like, ugh. Now they're just gross girls, and we all hated each other. 666, exactly. Well, I guess we didn't hate it. Well, Nicole and Justin hated each other for like 3 years. They didn't see eye to eye on something. All the divorce demons came in, and we wanted to get divorced. But anyways, I just thought it was a lighthearted joke. And I called CJ. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. CJ is probably my biggest supporter on my jokes. And I texted him. I was like, should I cut back on these jokes? He's like, hell no. But at the end of it, I did have a vow with the Lord that no one knew that I made. And I broke that vow on purpose with blood. And God was pissed. But I told God I'd never swear to God, like legit, unironically. And I just told him I'm done with that. Rash vows and stuff. But this guy wanted to really know if I fingered my stepsister Nicole on the couch and stuff. Fingered my stepsister. And I said, ironically, this is before the knots. K-N-O-T. I meant the N-O-T here, but he said, he's like, do you swear to God? Because he knew I was so religious. He's like, do you swear to God that you, do you swear to God? Because he was trying to see, because he was trying to break the joke off. And I said, do I swear to God that it's not true? N-O-T? And he goes, yeah. Because he just wanted to know. And then I said, yes, I swear to God that it's not true. N-O-T, right? This is before the knots, but I swear to God it's not true, N-O-T. And he goes, and it was just silent. And everyone's like, huh? Because, like, everyone wanted to believe it. Now everyone's totally screwed. And they're like, well, now it's, what? Because it was like, 10 minutes of me trolling them. And now they're like, damn it, dude. I was ready to, because it feels good to, like, get other people's sins out there. And it feels good to, like, make fun of people. And, you know, when I was in 3rd grade, I think it was my first rumor I ever experienced. And I was like, these are awesome, whatever these are called, rumors. And I said, it sucks for the person that gets thrown under the bus, but how much does it suck? And if you put it to a numerical value, let's just call it 100. Well, if there's 200 people on Earth, 200 people in our school that enjoy it at +1, you're going to get these +1 exchanges, and it's plus, and then I did this game theory tree when I was an 9-year-old. And as in 3rd grade, I said it's +200 minus 100. As a school, we benefit +100. Therefore, rumors are good. And God's thinking, wow, this little kid actually thinks that. Well, once I got I got like a minus 80 or a minus 150, and Nicole got a minus 400. But we have a 600 people school, so 600 plus 1. I mean, there were some people who are, I mean, if you're friends with Nicole, I mean, the first thing that happened to me at school was these 8 people, the Galvins and the Richie Howard, and, you know, those guys came up to me and like, is it true? And like, they're making fun of me, 2 for the pink, 1 for the stink, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, nah, it's not true. And then I go, well, still funny. And then so they're passing it around, and then eventually what happened, it's like, oh, he made it up about himself. And that was the second rumor. So now it's all Eric's fault. He made it up about, like, as if I made that up about myself, and that was the rumor. And Rachel was like, no, I don't believe the second one either. I think somebody else made it up. Why would he make it up about himself? And she comes up to me and she goes, why would he make it up about himself? And this thought came into my head, it's true, Rachel. And I would have started like a movie. It was like I would have been like a character in a play, and we would have said stuff. But instead, I took the higher law. I just didn't say anything. That's the higher truth. What an idiot. Just say, it's true, Rachel. I made it up about myself. But I didn't say that. But I also didn't deny it. You know, I just didn't say anything, which is pretty funny too. Rachel Sampson. And then she has 2 witnesses, and she's like, I'm going to hug Eric. And I think it was Nicole Emerson is going to be a witness. And I let her hug me because I really was the victim. But Nicole was the real victim. I was, like I said, I was minus 120. She's minus 400. So, but we're the only 2 people that got hurt. So that's minus 520. But the rumor was 600 people wide, possibly more. And they benefit. I mean, it's awesome. Hey, there was a guy and his stepsister. Who's Eric? Which Eric Smythe? I mean, the other Eric Smythe. He's like, people thought I was doing that with Emily. There was like 20 people who thought I was doing it with Emily. The Fingers. And my nickname became Fingers, but that didn't last. That was like, we got a new nickname for you, Fingers. And then I called the other Eric Smythe Toes. So it's Fingers and Toes. But Toes is Toes, the other Eric Smythe. It's pretty funny. But anyways, God showed me, okay, how do you like rumors now? And, you know, I still kind of like it. It's just don't let the rumor be on you. And the rumors are still good. It's just, it sucks to be Nicole. It sucks to be me on that one. Because I got minus 100. She got minus 400. But we're still profiting as a school. Okay. The rumors was still great for everyone except for me and Nicole. But we need more people. We need like 6,000 or 60,000. And then now we take a 1,000 penalty. She takes a 2,000 penalty. But it's a 60,000 person rumor. So we lose, as a society, we lose 3,000. This is the atonement here. We lose 3,000, but we pick up 60,000. You know, what if Jesus getting whipped and the crown of thorns, and what if he took on 10,000 or 100,000 or a million points of pain, but there was billions and billions and billions of gain? You know, would that be worth it? Jesus, bit of a masochist, loves pain, because it's worth it. But going back to the game theory model, no, I don't think rumors are good anymore. Why? Well, it's a waste of time. Gossip, really? I don't think it's a +1 anymore. I think it's a -1. So it's a minus 100, and even if the gossip is true, let's say I did finger Nicole on the couch, and that was a thing and whatever. Well, the rumor would be true, and they're getting their is that so it's a +1 because the truth is being spread? And you know what? No. You guys need to be talking about Jesus Christ, and you guys need to be talking about the Bible. You guys need to be talking about F is for friends who do stuff together, U is for you and me, and it's for anyone, anytime, and all down here in the deep blue sea. F is for falling into the flowers, U is for ukulele, and it's for anyone, anytime, and all down here in the deep blue sea. That's from SpongeBob. That's what would have been said if it was. Did you hear the hot new news? Did you hear the hot new news that there was some consensual quasi full play on he put his little fingers in between her, and then she felt really good and he felt kind of weird, and they both felt weird, and that's what happened, I'm telling you. And how do you know that? Well, because someone told me. And how does he know that? Because someone told him. And what was the information there? It came from the horse's mouth. Eric Smythe. Yeah, because Eric Smythe said so. Well, was he being sarcastic? I don't know. Well, what? What do you mean, was he being sarcastic? Was he making a joke? Dude, I don't know. Why would you say that? Did you hear what I just said? He fingered his sister on the couch. Fingers. Yeah, but was he joking about? Was it self-parody? Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. But who asked that? Why would you ask that? And then you go to the next guy. Did you hear Eric Smythe fingered his sister on the couch? He did? Oh, that's crazy. Notice how the two people handle it so differently. It's pretty funny, huh? Yeah, it's real funny. It's so funny, I forgot to laugh until 10 years later. That's not how you laugh, Eric. Idiot. I just feel bad for Nicole. Because she is a slut, too, and she probably... I asked her one time, who would you rather have sex with, me or Justin? Because she's a little slut. And she said, I don't think you want to know. I don't think you want to know. 666. My goodness me. It's the same, by the way, it's the same 666. Once you do it once, you know what it is. Talking about sex. I've never had sex before, so it's still this forbidden act outside of marriage. In marriage, it's kind of just like, ugh. No? License plate just said no. See, the 8-year-olds think it's gross because they don't have puberty. I know exactly what it's like because I've masturbated. And when you I've forced an orgasm on myself. But I don't know what a woman who I love, that I'm committed to, and my penis is surrounded by a saucy vagina that's wet, and I get the orgasm inside someone I love. That's got to feel... And I've heard some things, like my friend Zach Savoy, he had sex with this girl named Savannah. This is all speculation. No, he did. But it was with a condom. So... it didn't feel as good. But then he had sex with my girlfriend Adelpha without a condom because she had birth control, so it was less risky. He fills her up, but he told me it's the best feeling I've ever had in my life. It feels so good in there. And I said, dude, I told you not to have sex with my girlfriend. And he goes, I know, but I'm telling you, it feels really good in there. And I said, well, okay, good for you. She wasn't my real girlfriend. She was my friends with benefits with no benefits. The reason why I'm so weird is because I've never had sex. I don't know if and no, I didn't finger Nicole. But it's funny at this point. I mean, we could start a new rumor. What if I did? Well, you could just ask her. Well, what if she's lying? Sorry. I mean, so what if, let's just, what if I did? Wow, is that my biggest sin? Is that, I mean, what is it? I did that? Damn. Okay. Okay, I mean, now what? Do I go to jail? Is it illegal? Did I get away with it? I mean, like, are we going to move on with it? Am I less trustworthy now? Oh my gosh. Like, oh my God, drugs in the house. It's Charlie Sheen, drugs in the house. Now I do want to say this, because this is raunchy. When she moved out, because my stepmom said, I think I want to get a divorce. And the Spirit prompted me, go out there, be nice. Say, stick to your marital vows, you idiots. Just start drama. Just be like, hey, stop it. Marital vows, stop it. And I said, no, I want them divorced. And I was just like, what? And to make the matters worse, all three of the other kids did that too. She wasn't serious. I think I want to get a divorce. She said it so loud, all four of us heard it. Wicked. All three of us. Wicked, wicked, wicked. I would say I'm more wicked than the other three, but I don't think I'm more wicked than the other three combined. They're wicked combined. All four of us, wicked. As the oldest, who has the most righteousness and the best worldview, I should have got up and said, bitch, family meeting. Why do you want to get divorced? We're out of money? Let's downsize. Like, what is it? Why are you divorcing us now? After all this, 10 years. Nope. Stone cold, ice cold killers. And then my mom, this is the funniest part, she tried to kick my dad out of a house that he bought and paid for. It's co-owned. Right? You leave. And he says, you leave. Well, I guess I'll go live with my mom. I mean, why couldn't I just go out there and be like, hey, stop it. I love you. I love you. I love you. Stay. Please stay. Begging her to stay. She would have stayed in a heartbeat. I'm telling you. She wouldn't have been like, oh, Eric loves me, but I just want to leave for no reason still. And my dad is like, yeah, I'm going to simp on a semi-bluff. My dad's just like, listen, really? And the marriage didn't really work for 12. And she said that too. It's never worked. Yeah, it's never worked because you're not my real mom. And these are not my real sisters. That's why it doesn't work. Adultery did this to us. Probably on her side of it too. I don't know I don't know what happened with her and her. I mean, I don't think Cheryl cheated. Hell no. But Cheryl's husband might have cheated on her. I don't know why they got divorced on that side of it. But my stepmom was divorced and my dad was divorced. My dad was divorced twice and I didn't even know that until I was like 17. My dad had a first wife. Unbelievable. But my dad's still stuck in La La Land. He still thinks I'm crazy. It's just not like that anymore. Now that I have the LDS spirit. The LDS, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is giving out a ghost. And my dad doesn't know anything about it anymore. He doesn't go to that church, and it's so sad. But you could go there and you could fill up, and you don't really need meds. And I'm just not crazy the way I was, because that church is providing for me spiritually. And I could do anything in this world now. I had a dream of Melissa Ibarra. What are you doing here? And it was God's way of showing me you're not crazy anymore. You're prophetic. You know? This 7-Up is tasting better now. Yeah, I hate In-N-Out cold fries. They're okay when they're warm, but then they lose value. But hey, at least these are soggy. The only good soggy fries in America, In-N-Out. For whatever reason, because it's like a little potato. It's like a cold potato. No, but yeah, it was just rumors. But technically, if it is a +1, because technically the math kind of checks out. There's only a 1 in 600 chance that the rumor's gonna be on you. And there's like probably a 2/3 chance that the rumor's not even gonna be true. How offended can you possibly be? Like, Nicole shouldn't have been so sad because the rumor wasn't true. But, you know, I called her too and I said, hey, you know, I made this rumor about you. It was really funny. And she was like so mad. That's disgusting. And she hung up. She's like, ugh. I just thought it was funny, and it was. But I don't know. Not everyone thought it was funny, put it like that. And for whatever reason, I was hurt by it. I went to counseling, school counseling, and I trolled the counselor into thinking that it was true in my own little way, which was freaking hilarious. And then she goes, "Was it true?" And I was like, "No." And she goes, "Oh, what the heck?" Because I told her, I was like, I wasn't going to tell her the exact fingers thing. I should have just said, there's a rumor that I fingered my stepsister. That's what I should have said. But I was like, yeah, there's this rumor. It's really hurting me, and it's really hurting my sister. And, well, you're going to have to tell me that. Eventually, she's like, you're going to have to tell me what it is. I was like, well, my nickname is Fingers. And she goes, oh, I know what's going on now. And then she's thinking, wait, it's probably true, because if it wasn't true, he'd be acting differently. It's called the argument from silence fallacy. And 90% of the time you're right, or 80%. But I'm such a weird person that I think it's funny, because I kind of know the meta. So I ended up trolling her, and then she asked me again, was it true? And I was like, no. She's like, oh. And then she felt like a creep, and she felt like a detestable person. Like, he just told me no twice. But she's thinking, if I was him, I'd be doing so many different things. You're exactly right. If you were me, you wouldn't have even made the joke to begin with, let alone. But that's why it's funny. I kind of, I like to use different nonverbals, different voices, different tones. And I have the gift of tongues, and that's another reason why I'd be a great president, is because different people are going to understand me so differently. And politics is supposed to be a game. It's supposed to be entertaining. The Americans, they don't climb rocks with no rope. They get scared when their stocks go down. Oh my gosh, Dad! Tesla is down! People kill themselves when they look on their computer screen and it says they're in debt. What? There's other countries. America, is that the one where people jump off of skyscrapers and kill themselves? That's what I heard. Now that's a rumor, right? You're kidding. There's people who put bullets through their own head. Is that? And then we have the nerve to pray for Africa. That's the funniest. That's the irony right there. Oh Lord, I pray for Africa. I just pray that they have enough to eat. Oh my gosh, they have food you know nothing about. You don't think God has the food thing taken care of over there? My gosh, he has the food thing taken care of. If God wants you to die, you'll die. There's some truth to that, but I mean, it's like, I don't know, man. They pray for us. This because we're bankrupt spiritually. No, and I talk to people on the street every day. Not a single person knows the Bible verse, repentance, and if they do, they know almost as much as they should know. And if they know more than they should, that's when I'd get a friend. A friend that I would never call. Because I'm making videos like this every day. I'm going to drive around. It's 12:04. There's no one on the road. I got a nice 3/4 tank of gas. I can never talk like this unless I was driving. I like moving like this, I could not sit down. I mean, if I was talking to Joe Rogan, I want to go on the Joe Rogan podcast. Yes. Thank you. Here. Write that down because you'll forget. Joe Rogan podcast. Not this year, but next. I want to go in 2030. Get on the Joe Rogan. 4/30/26 road work ahead. Exactly. 30. Exactly. Here, write that down too. 2030. So Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan is a guy who likes UBI. And I'm going to have everything. I'm going to talk to Bob Baker. Wait for my dad and my mom to die. Ironically, they're my only two haters in the whole world. I haven't told Justin yet. But it's like, when people say, I'm going to do it, you're going to do what? I'm going to kill myself. Everyone's like, yeah, that's about right. But when I say, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do what? I'm going to run for President of the United States of America. No, you aren't. What? What a stupid world. And everyone is so stupid. But to be fair to me, I went to high school. I never did drugs, never did alcohol. I have a close relationship with God. Most people don't have parents like that. Like this kid right here. It was right here, huh? It was right here. Sunday morning, I didn't even know there was church. There's a black guy. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, my nigga. Yeah, nigga. And I washed up. It was right here. And I said, hey, nigger. And everyone's like, whoa. And he says, I can say that word and you can't. Because he was black and I was white. And I said, yeah, so that's not how the freedom of speech works in this country. And they were just like, oh, snap. And they were like chills. And I said, by the way, I am black. And I put out my arm like this. And he looks over and he didn't even know if I was black or not. He was so stunned. They were so stunned. They never heard anything like that. Because they just believed it because mom and dad said that. And guess what? There's some truth to that. You can't really say nigger or nigga if you're white. You really can't. And there's historical reasons for that. And he can, because there's historical reasons for that. It's been reclaimed. But I'm so righteous and above it. I just wanted to make a point. And I was with a really religious guy. And he says, hey man, why'd you do that for? And I said, trust me, I don't know if it's 3 months, 6 months, or 30 months from now, but I'm going to tell a story and I'm going to need that entropy. And I cannot, and I mean N-O-T not, make that story up. No way. I mean, I'll just say, hypothetically, if I was walking by the sidewalk and there was a black guy and I said, hey, nigger, and he says, I can say it and you can't, and then I said to him, hypothetically, that's not how the freedom of speech works. It's a good story, but it's hypothetical. Oh, if you actually did that, he'd beat you up, and it's just not the same. Just run it. And whatever happens. Now, if you beat my ass, that would have been a good story too. Now you whip it up in a different, now it might be 15, 20 years from now. I'm talking to my daughter, my 3-year daughter. Now, watch out for the freedom of speech thing, because I called this black guy a nigger one time because I wanted to try out my freedom of speech, got my ass beat, and she's just like, oh my gosh, Dad, why would you do that? I was like, well, I was trying to do the freedom of speech thing, and then I hug her, and it's a different story. But the guy didn't beat me up, and he looked like he was 15, 16. It's a double bind. It's either good, better, best, and something good's going to happen. But I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. Just walk by. That's stupid. I'm done with all that. Now, I did call the black guy, what's his name? The mailman. I called him a nigger. He just called the cops. He's like, yeah, there's a weird white guy. Then they told my dad, and then is he off his meds? And probably. And then I started yelling at my dad, you need to listen to this cop. I'm telling my dad, you listen to the cop, I listen to you. I'm under the 5th commandment, Mosaic law, because of Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. We still believe in the 10 commandments. You're technically my biological father, so I'll listen to you and you listen to the cops. And I'm saying it like Charlie Kirk, and he says, yeah, you're going to the hospital. I was like, okay, why? It's just stupid. And then I go in the back of the hospital, the truck, and there's a detective. And the detective is like some smoking hot 58-year-old. And I was like, you want to get married? And she's like, no. Because she was cool. But she's like, nah. So, okay, well. You know, I want to get married I want to marry up. And women that are like 50, 60, 70, they don't think they could get a 34-year-old hot virgin guy like me. They can. All of them can get it. They just need to provide me with the wisdom. You know, I'd like to probably move in with her. I could get a job. I don't mind getting a job and stuff. If you have money, I can help you manage the money if you want. But I'm not a gold digger. I'm not going to marry a 90-year-old and then get half her stuff. And I'm looking for love. But I want to start old because I want to marry Paige after Paige becomes a widow, because I think the Lord's going to have her outlive. Because the purpose of this life is to love, and one of the highest forms of heterosexual love is marriage. So I got to get married, monogamy. I am saying no to all the other girls, but if there's one that I like, I could just wait for her to die because she's already old. So get one that's 60. She'll probably live 15, 20 more years. I always think they're going to 90 or 100, but they die of health complications around 72 a lot. Cancer or something like that. God brings them home. But if I get her at 65, I can have sexual intercourse, no babies, lose my virginity there. Then I have a marriage there. I would prefer a Latter-day Saint, but you can't really, if you get a bad, quarrelsome wife that's 65, which I don't know how you could possibly do that, a widow, because I want to get a widow. And I think I'm ready for marriage. And I just feel like it'd be an asymmetric net positive experience. And I'm not a big 1 Corinthians 7:1 guy, but she's got to be Christian. I'm thinking about going for Erin, because Erin prayed for me, and she just had one of her kids die, and I think I could just cuddle her a lot, kiss her, and we could pray all day. We could evangelize together. And I want to break social norms. I don't mind 18-year-old women dating 65-year-old men. And I also don't mind 18-year-old men dating 65-year-old women if it's legal. And if you want to make it illegal, come up with a good reason, make it illegal. Do the half your age plus 7 thing. You know? Like, I'd love to marry Paige's mom. I just think she's way out of my league. Erin is just nothing compared to Leslie. But I'd marry Leslie in a heartbeat. I'd probably tremble around her. I'm trembling just thinking about her. I mean, when she was 50, if she was 54 right now, she'd be out of my league. And I'm 34. But she's like 70. I post on Facebook, I want to marry her. That doesn't mean I'm going to marry her. That means it's just something that I want to do. It's unique because some guys are so stupid, they say, oh, there's wrinkles. You're an idiot. That's the best part of it. That's the best part about it. the wrinkles mean that she's what? Sapiosexual, she's smart, and sophiosexual, she's wise. That's what I want. Now, I like, younger women too. I like 18, 19, 20, 24, 26-year-old women too. Why? If they're righteous, they love the Lord, they're very fertile, they can have really nice babies, but also they're learners and they want to learn from you. Whereas, we're talking about humans right now. All the humans are really hot on both sides of it, guys, women. That's the purpose of this life, is to fight for love, because there's demons on both sides of it. And there's no version of, oh, they're in love, but they're not. That's not a thing. In heaven, yes, it is. Everyone loves everyone. That's not the case on this cosmic regional jurisdiction. Everyone loves everyone. That's not true. People hate people. People hold grudges. There's something sin, And if you can get married through all that and hold the marriage, like my stepmom, she saw someone who was, let's get Taco Bell. I want one taco, I guess. No, I want, I'm full, actually. I'm good. There was this couple that was married for 70 years. They got married at 18, now they're 88, both of them. Right out of high school, whatever. And she's like, man, that is really impressive. I could never be with someone for that long. Oh my God. And I was just like, what? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? You get married at 18 and then, oh my gosh, they stayed together. They did. What? I was shocked that she was making that. But to be fair to her, she's divorced. And what did she have? Did she have two divorces first? Or was it one divorce? But something that I noticed is that God is the one who hooks us up with people. Like, God's not going to send me a witch at this point. But if you're sexually, like, I'm a virgin, and yes, I have pride and stuff, but he might send me a prideful virgin. I don't know. Or he might send me some girl with a bunch of bodies, but she's humble, and she repented, and we compliment each other. I don't know. But it's going to be compatible and great. But he's not going to send me a witch unless I specifically pray for that. But I would take a washed up prostitute as long as she loves the Lord and she's spirit filled and she's truly. I don't understand the whole, oh, she's been destroyed and all this. And how can there be atheists if there's sex and if sex really does all this spiritual stuff? How are people atheists through that? It's pretty funny. But there's spirits and stuff, and I heard there's soul ties, and once you do it once, you know what it is, meaning you take some of them, they take some of you, and well, anyways, I'm not going to say that. There's some things I could say to ruin this great video. I want to go on Joe Rogan 2030, and I'm just going to tell my resume. I'm the best Tetris player in the world. So here's Eric Smythe. He's the best Tetris player in the world. He's a prophet. He has 350 Bible verses memorized. He's a semi-professional bowler. I could show him the bird video. I could show him how I'm going to take over the world with UBI, and I want to do 2030. And there's no stopping me after Joe Rogan. I mean, he brought on Jaron Brown without even researching that guest. I got to say, how do I get on Joe Rogan? And I got to get a slot, and then I just got to pray and walk in there. And he's primed for it. Joe Rogan's not atheist anymore. And I'll just talk about Christianity and Latter-day Saintism, Mormonism. I'll say, yeah, man, he thinks it's a cult. I'll tell him what it is. I'll call him an idiot. I'll call Joe Rogan an idiot. And I want to call the American people an idiot. The American people don't want to be an American idiot. I gotta I gotta listen to that song more. Because I always feel like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hurt someone's feelings when I call them an idiot. And you might, but who gives a... That's the whole point of being... Listen, there's more to life than people's feelings right now. Just call them idiots. Call Joe Rogan an idiot, and then if he says, no, I'm not, well, you want to have a little debate on that? You're an idiot. Like James White, for example. He has more Bible verses memorized than me. I think he had 600 and I only have 350. Or he has 625, right? And he's just knowledge. But he has a small right brain. He doesn't play any instruments. I do. So I still have him crushed on the right brain. Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna have more than 600 when I'm his age. He's 63. No wonder, or 62. No wonder why he has 600. I'm gonna have 1,001 by his age, but I do respect it. I do respect 600. In fact, I'll get on my hands and knees and worship you because I've always said that. Isaac is full disabled. I'm just quasi-disabled. You know. I had a dream today. I'm almost there, actually. I was pulled over by, on Halloween. I was pulled over on Halloween by these cops. Not here. This next one. I would go to Burger King probably. They have nice ice cream. They got nice cookies. Girls are like ice cream. Or girls are like apple juice. They're cringe. Apple juice is cringe compared to orange juice. Cringe means out of tune. Cringe, I thought, was the most offensive word ever. Turns out it just means out of tune, a little bit off. And it's just like, ooh, nigga, ooh. I need to start saying nigger more. Nigga, nigger. So I call this black guy a nigger. And I also want to say I'm on the autism spectrum and I have bipolar schizophrenia. But it's a strength. Like, you know how you had one of the guests? I want to talk to Joe. So here's where I was. What street name is this? My dad doesn't freak out when I have dreams. He just says, okay, here's a dream. Vancouver. I got pulled over on Vancouver. I should know that street. My gosh. That's where CJ lives off Vancouver. So if I'm on Vancouver, I get pulled over and there was these two cops, but they were from Spaceballs. And they were just like, hey. And then they left, and then I drove off, and then this cop was at, and then they were like pretending to be cops. And the point of the dream is pretty obvious. I'm being watched by cops, and they love me so much, and they want me to be president. They're trying to do their job. If I'm perverted, it's like, okay, he's perverted, so what does that mean? Oh, we have to catch the perverts, but I'm a fake pervert. So that's why it's kind of funny. And if he's going to be a fake pervert, then we're going to be fake cops. And that's kind of the point of the dream, which I think is pretty funny. Well, at least that's how I interpret it as of today. Yum. The first couple of sips of this 7-Up, I didn't really like it. God's really helping with it. And then I have these other dreams again, going into jail, being accused. Oh, it tastes so good. So yeah, I just thought of the Joe Rogan one, Joe Rogan Experience. Because he has some dumb guests. And he likes learning. I'd love to go on the show multiple times too. And I might throw the Bible away on my second term just to do a ruckus. I'll swear the oath for the Constitution for my first term, show the world how it's done, and then the second term I'll just flip open to Matthew 5:33 to 37, grab the Bible, chuck it in the air and run away and just make a scene. Because I don't want to do a second term, because then I can never do I can never run ever again. The worst part about my second term, no more Eric Smythe. Like, the Republicans, thank God, no more Obama. Oh, the Obama term was just so much. the gas went up 50 cents. And it was like, what? What did Obama do that you didn't like? He went to war? What was the Obama thing? Oh no, Trump's gone. Oh, thank God Trump's gone. Whew. Like, as if Trump's affecting your life, as if Obama's affecting your life. People are like, the president is just, he doesn't really do anything, you guys. Like, love your family, love God, do your job, get some sleep, okay? Do your hobbies, be fun, okay? Yes, pro-life, pro-choice. That, now, oh, thank God, Obama's gone. He was pro-choice. Now we have pro-life. Now that makes sense. But it's like, the president doesn't affect the economy. He doesn't do any of that stuff. It's just a bunch of nonsense. In other countries, yes, the king is, there's a big deal there. And I understand the president has more power than he used to. Back in the day, the chief citizen thing, okay, the president has less power than he used to and more at the same time. It's very strange. I don't want to get into it right now. But I want them. That's another one of my policies. Here, just write that down. More power. Here, edit. More power for president, less puppetry. Well, no, I know more puppet, but more power too. More power for president, except for me. I don't want to be one of those presidents who come in and says, I want the president to be king. And I'm president, right? Oh, so I'm king. No. I'm president. When Washington came in, he said, I want to be king, but I want the king to have less power, so I'm going to call him a president. Now that makes sense, and I'm going to start it with myself. Now that makes sense. But now, the rich, like the super billionaires who buy up the president, who buy up, they're like monopoly men. The Federal Reserve, the guy that Ron Paul talked about, the Jekyll Island. There's a book you can read called Jekyll Island. It's a great book. Why are we fighting each other when we could just buy up Woodrow Wilson, put in campaign support in 1913, take over the world, and we could just take over the printing press, and it will charge everyone we'll charge everyone taxes, and we'll split what we get, income tax. We'll start it at 4%, and we'll give 4% everything. Then now we don't have to do anything really. And we can love each other as this oligarchy, like we could be omega gods. There's these money creeps. And now everyone's working for them without even knowing it. They think they're tithing to the government. We'll call it the Federal Reserve. It's as federal as the Federal Express. Now, these are guys I don't want to pick a fight with right away or whatever, because they'll kill me. So, I might be smart, but I'm not stupid. But as president, I want to leak certain stuff here or there, and that's why I say so many jokes too. Oh, I'm just joking about the Federal Reserve thing, and I'm just joking about the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. It's like Alex Jones. He has so many jokes. You don't know if he's telling the truth or if he's joking, because he's, it's like, move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. Move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. He needs to say that loudly. Why? Well, is he being serious there? Well, it sounded like it. He's quoting a secular song, move, bitch, get out the way. What are you talking about? Ron Paul could never do that. Can you imagine Ron Paul saying, move, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch, get out the way. It's like, what? He can't say that. But Alex Jones can. In fact, he must. So I decided I'm going to be an Andrew Tate, Alex Jones mix. And the people that are smart know exactly what I'm talking about. And the people that are stupid get hung up. 90% of the population get hung up on the sex joke. All I know is grab him by the pussy. Part 2. Dude, that's all. And that's when he got my vote. Well, fuck, I'll take that vote. Shit. If that's how I'm gonna get it, fuck. Norm McDonald got me a vote. Thanks, Norm. Holy shit. The other people are like, right when he said that God has dynamic omniscience, which is God's active and complete knowledge based in a temporally present perception of reality, accounting for the various epistemic categories of knowledge in light of his cognate expressions. That's when I knew I had to take him over J.D. Vance. Okay, I'll take that vote too. Let's mop them all up. Cooked. I am Charlie Kirk. Huh. Be careful when you say, "Dear God, help me be more like Charlie Kirk." You could pick up some of his sins too. My friend asked, does God really hate sin? What if I told you sin is so entertaining that hate has been off the table? What if I told you what if I told you there's 100 levels of freedom and level 3 to 100 requires sin or a chance to sin? God, there's animals, they have level 1 to 7 free will, instinct, and they love you, but they barely even know why. They love everything and everyone. Well, how do you get 77,000 layers of free will? You got to make people gods, and that involves true risk and sin. And you can't really hate the sin vessels when they produce good things in the long run. There's lightning. Look at a verse like Luke 7:47, and Jesus is hyping up sin for the repentant. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, do you have Luke 7:47 memorized? He who has been forgiven little loves little, but he who has been forgiven of much loves much. So you're saying sin is a good thing in that cosmic regional jurisdiction? That's exactly right. Sin that has been forgiven is better than no sin at all. So does God really hate sin? No, he doesn't. Now, if the sin turns into sin, breeds sin, unrepentant, swallowed up by the devils, and then you become son of perdition, and you're worse than Kanye West, and you're worse than Anton LaVey, and now you're too far gone. Oh, it's like, okay, we can lose with it too. Sin, yeah, I hate that sin. It's kind of like, does God really hate sports? Well, no. Does God really hate losing? No. Does God really hate losing? Yes, he does. Like sports, it was great until I went 0-162. I played Major League Baseball and I had 0 wins and 162 losses. Well, that's not sports. That's something else. God doesn't like the 0 win, 162 losses. That's what the devils are. Addicted to losses. There's what kind of sin are you talking about? The black sin? Or are you talking about the humans who sin and they say sorry and they come back? Better to sin and be forgiven than to never have sinned at all. But to sin and not be forgiven and stay unrepentant and then be wicked and then love it and then exalt it over God and commit adultery and fight off God, and God throws a lightning bolt of angelic ecstasy into a demon and he calls for an exorcism, and then he calls the devil Lord, and the devil does a black reverse priesthood blessing to get the angelic ecstasy out. Okay, no, yes, God hates that sin. Like, look at, for example, the Pharisees. It's like he's getting awfully close to blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. What do you mean? Well, he's doing a blessing, and and he's healing someone, and they say, "No, I got a joke from the supernatural realm, Beelzebub." What? Beelzebub? It's Jesus of Nazareth, the guy who's known for healing. And he said, "Dear Father, heal this man, please." And then he was hurt, now he's healing. It's kind of like when you go to the Mormon church and they're doing Melchizedek priesthood blessings, and you say Beelzebub. Well, you're an idiot. And it's not a forgiving spot. It's a you gotta repent spot. I had a Melchizedek priesthood blessing at my house, but I was already good. And he injects this alien white spirit in me. And I went to President Zollinger's house. That's the girl that I like, Paige Zollinger's dad, who's the president. As you can see, I like the best girls. Just in a monogamous world, you gotta love the best girl, which would be Paige, or technically Brooke as well is fine too. But Brooke wasn't in my 5th grade class, so I prefer Paige to Brooke by a large margin. But I would marry Brooke if she was single and whatever. But it's just not the same. I would prefer Paige, okay, but I go to his house. I had been watching Anti-Mormon. I say, "What do you think about this Third Articles of Faith, Mr. President? Mr. President, Third Articles of Faith, which says all mankind shall be forgiven through the atonement of Christ by obedience to the laws and ordinances of the gospel," which I now believe is true. But the anti-Mormons, they're like, oh, it sounds like it's talking about works, and Paul would be against it. And I ended up running outside, sprinting to the park to pray there, and my dad saw me running, and he says, "Eric, come back. Come back. Come back. Eric, come back." And I run back. He smites me to the ground by saying, "Get down." And the Holy Spirit I overdosed on the Holy Ghost. And my ears were like, bing. And I was like, it was this alien white ghost. And I just looked in the corner of the house for like 10 minutes. Of course, 4 days later, this girl says, "Do you have a testimony of the Melchizedek priesthood?" And I was like, oh my gosh. And I looked at my dad and I told the whole story. And they were just like, what? I was like, yeah. Like, that thing, that is real.